Hello everyone and welcome again to another Vic System tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to be dealing with the Laravel and a very basic function we'll come across every time we build apps. This is the official Laravel website. We'll be heading over to the documentation. For the purpose of this video, we will be using the version 7. Okay, we're going to head down to the code to install the package. Alright, so Composer is already installed on my machine, so I'll just simply copy this line. Alright, head over to my folder. XAMPP is already installed on my system, so we'll just be locating that, going into the htdocs folder, and we'll be creating a new folder there. We can decide to do this, or because Laravel is going to create a folder at this point for us. So alright, so let's just hit in git batch here, which is already installed on my system. Just going to zoom this a little bit. Alright, so we'll be pasting in the code, and we are going to be renaming this to the project we want. Okay, for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll just call it resources tutorial. Okay, we just hit enter. We're going to pause this video now because it will take a while for that to install, and we'll come back after it's done. Okay, so with the power of screen recording, we have been able to draw out the Laravel package, which has installed successfully. It took quite a number of minutes, but it's done. So right about now, in the htdocs folder, we have resources tutorial folder, and this we have because of the command we entered, resources tutorial. So it's actually done this for us. We could just head into this folder now. The next thing we want to do right now is open it up with VS Code. Okay, we can do that directly from my git batch terminal here by just typing in code space and dot. We hit enter, it could launch that, or we could just right click here and say open with git, open with code, and it's going to open up the VS Code for us, which is loading up now. Okay, so here we have our files. Let's just zoom this up a little bit so you can have it closely. Okay, so what we want to do right now is set up our database. Okay, we want to set up the database name and the database user and password. You can see all that in the .env file. If we get into the .env file, we have our app name, which we can change. We have the database name, we have the database user, and the rest of it. So we're just going to call this resources tutorial like that. We're going to leave the password and the username as they are because that's the default configuration of my system. So XAMPP is already installed on my machine. I will just be hitting that by typing in localhost. Okay, just typing in localhost. It's gonna get me here. I'm going to click on phpMyAdmin. Give it some time to load. Okay, so it's loaded right now. I'm just gonna head over to new. Okay, I'm going to click on new. and this is where I'll be putting in the name of the database I want to create. Okay, so we're just going to be typing in resources tutorial like so, and we'll leave every configuration as it is, then hit on create. Resources tutorial database is created. I'm just gonna head down into my VS Code right now, resources tutorial, so we are good to go. And the next thing I want to do right now is open up a terminal. So I'll just head over to terminal, click on terminal and say new terminal. It's going to open up beneath here. Let's just close this up. All right, let's expand this. So sometimes this is Minty's terminal activated for my VS Code. If you don't have that activated, you can actually always come here and select whichever one you want. I enjoy using this terminal and it's been very great. All right, so what we want to do right now is we want to serve our application because we have a connection to the database right now, and that's all being set up. Okay, so let's look at how it's going to look like. So we do that by typing in this command. Okay, all right, so we're just going to type in this command right here, php artisan serve, sorry about that, serve. So one interesting thing you could do with this command is, those of us who are a little bit familiar with it, we could just hit enter now. It's going to set localhost 8000. Okay, but you could specify the port you want by doing -- port equal to, and you could specify what you want. So I could give this a 2020. If I hit enter, it's going to serve my application on that particular port. Okay, sorry, I think I made a mistake. Instead of server, it should be serve. All right, okay, so let's hit that. So as we can see, my application is being served at 2020. I can just hold down my control and click on this. Okay, and it's going to open this up in a browser for me like so. So I have my fresh Laravel application without any authentication scaffolding whatsoever. Okay, so while I have my terminal open this way running, I could split it in my VS Code environment. I know some of us are familiar with that. You could just head over to this section here and hit this. It's going to split your visualization, so we could go ahead typing other things here. So this is where we are going to be doing some magic. All right, so generally within your application there are certain times you will need to create a model, and you need to create a controller for that model. But generally what we want to do is we want to have something that we can create, read, update and delete with. Okay, very basic stuff we do every day. All right, so we're just going to head over right now and type the command. Sorry about that. All right, so we're just going to do php artisan make model. I'm going to call this model let's call it booking. Okay, when you're creating models, always create your models with the singular form. All right, because a table is going to be created and that table will automatically be pluralized. All right, so let's go with this. There's a flag MCR. Now M stands for creating a migration for this model, C stands for creating a controller, and the R stands for creating the controller as a resource, which is actually the aim of what we're doing. So we're just going to hit enter right now, give it a few moments to kick in, and it's going to create for us a migration. I know we're a little bit familiar with basic stuffs like this. It's creating a migration for us. It's going to create a controller also. Okay, so the controller has been created, the migration has also been created, and we can see that from this section here. All right, we're just going to head into our app folder, open up the HTTP folder, open up the controllers folder. We can see booking controller has been done for us, and automatically it okay, so for some of us just starting out, we're going to be wondering how we get around that error, and how we simply do that. I just simply go to my browser, type in too long string, and hit Laravel. As simple as that. Actually, the first blog that comes up talks about that problem. It's a very common problem. All right, so we have specified key was too long, error. Okay, we have that. All right, so we're just going to scroll down here. We need some things. You can go ahead and read this, but we just need this to be inserted in that provider's namespace. So we're going to hit here. All right, that's the first step, and the second step is for us to come into this, take out this line and put this in the boot method, as simple as that. All right, and save that. So what I advise you do at this point is go back into your database, all right. Okay, and we have it here, and at this point you have some tables already migrated. You will want to drop everything right about now. Okay, let's head over to resources tutorial. Okay, and we want to check all, and we want to drop. This is important you do. Okay, so we hit this, take out every table from our database, we head back into our VS Code. Okay, we head back into our VS Code and we want to repeat the migrate again, and this time around we are going to be having something successful. Okay, that pretty much is it. We are going to be heading over to our routes right now, and this is the favorite part of the whole tutorial actually. Okay, this is what we need to do. We are creating a resource. I know most of us are already familiar with the get and post, okay, but we also have resource. So let's just call this booking. All right, booking. We are going to be hitting a controller booking controller like so, but no method. All right, no method. As simple as this. This is all we need to put in here. Okay, all we need to put in here. So it already is going to map this route to the index, to the create, to the store, to the delete methods that already exist within the booking controller, so without us necessarily declaring it here multiple times. All right, so we're just going to head back into our controllers to take a look at the booking controller, and we have some methods here already. Okay, so anytime we hit the booking without anything in front, so it's going to hit this index. So right about now, let's just return a 1 2 3 at this point. All right, and let's head into our browser right now. Okay, this is our Laravel application saved at this port, and just go booking. Okay, and this, so this is actually going to hit the index method. All right, and it's just going to return 1 2 3 to us. Okay, so that's working pretty much well. All right, so let's come into the create now. All right, and let's just return a 2 3 4 right here. Okay, for the create, head back into our stuff right now and just do create. Do you see? When we hit create, we have 2 3 4. So this is how we relate with those methods, starting out from just using the resource. Very, very wonderful stuff. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is, on my index, I would love to return a view. Simple, we could just do view like so. All right, so I only have one default view right now, which is the welcome blade. I would just be leveraging on that. I could just simply come in here and do save as, and call this okay, we just call this the booking underscore home dot blade. All right, so there we go. We'll make some changes within. We'll call this booking. All right, we could take off these links. We don't really need these links right now. All right, so we could take away these links. Okay, and call this welcome to booking. All right, so the create method is for us to have a place where we can have a form where we could put in the items or the details we want to feed into our database. Okay, all right, so we are returning the booking home when we hit the index. Okay, that's all we want to do right now. All right, so in the resources folder in the views, we have booking home, so make sure not to add the blade.php right now. So all we just need to do is do a booking underscore home. All right, right there for us. Then for the create, we're going to be creating something here. Let's just do a view, and we just call this create booking. All right, keep it simple that way. We come over here and we could just simply file and do a save as, and call this create booking. Create booking. Okay, so we do this. So within the create booking, we could now have a form. All right, how I did that is just type in form and hit the tab key on your keyboard, and we actually have some shortcuts I would love to introduce us to. Okay, all right, so we could just type in div and dot form group, all right, and hit the tab, sorry, and it's going to create this for us. Very interesting stuff. Input to the same thing, I could do a form control because I'm later going to be using Bootstrap. Okay, so here we go, we can just call this name. All right, okay, and there we go. Okay, so the next one, we need a button to actually send this. Okay, so the same thing, we'd have a form group like so, and we hit this, come in here and do input form. Okay, and this time we need a button, just a button like this. We're gonna call this submit. I'm gonna call this submit. Okay, we're gonna create a class for it. All right, and from control gonna be sorry, the class is going to be btn primary. All right, that should just do it for us. All right, but currently we do not have Bootstrap connected to this page. Okay, but right about now in the action section, remember in the booking controller we have a method store, default method store, that takes in the request. Okay, so we're just going to factor that in right now without disturbing ourselves or whatever is in the routes. Web, that's the web.php. Just going to come in here right now and we're going to do this route. We already know we have booking as a route, but we just need to do store. That's all we need to do. And come into the method, don't forget to do this. Okay, what's happening? Gotta do some time traveling there. Okay, so we're just gonna say method. We're gonna call this a post method. Okay, so this is just going to collect the name. All right, let's head into the controller right now and say, Mr. Store, we want you to relate with the booking model in the sense of you creating. Now what are you going to be creating? We want you to take in, let's keep this simple a little bit. Let's take the column name and the request item, request name also, like so. So we're done with this. If we have some validation, you could just insert them at the top right here, but just we're keeping things simple. And after this, it's going to return. I want to return back into the page, but we want to hit it with some sort of message. All right, you just want to tell the user that okay, your booking has been recorded. Okay, the booking has been recorded. Let's not forget our semicolons right there. All right, so when we return this is actually a session message. It's a message, so we have to know how to receive that on our blade file, All right, so we're just simply gonna do this, create an if block right here, and we're gonna say if we could have a message bag, okay, or a session message that exists. All right, let's just simply come in here and give in a paragraph and let it tell us what's inside the message. So we're just going to be using this to get the message. All right, remember this message is what is coming from, what is being returned from the controller. Remember, okay, this little guy here, message. Okay, just bringing it back here. So our Bootstrap has a class that helps us handle things like the alert. Okay, so we're just going to put that in right now. Alert, let's call this a success message, so let's make it green. Okay, so we have all that, but we're not going to have something looking nice because we haven't harnessed the power of Bootstrap. And for us to do that, we're just going to head into the website, get Bootstrap. I use that a lot. All we're just going to need is the CDN link, the online CDN link, and we can find that here. Just click on this button to copy it, come back into your code. Let's go to the create, head on to the head tag and paste that in there. All right, to work the magic for you. Okay, so this is the create, this is for the create form. All right, let's get back into our booking, and this is for the store, this is for the create. It returns the form. All right, so we are expecting to have a form right now designed with Bootstrap. This is looking very beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to put in a label for us to know what we are putting into that guy. All right, so we could just drop this here, label. I love to work with a placeholders most times. Okay, you just say drop the name of the booking. All right, pretty long name. All right, let's just place in the placeholder right here and say booking name. Yeah, looks weird, but for the purpose of the tutorial. All right, so this, here we go. Oh, that was a very big one. Okay, nonetheless, I think we have that because of the yeah, there must be a class affecting that. Okay, and I don't want to really touch much there. Okay, let's take a really title class for now. Okay, so we should have something a little bit normal. Okay, that's good. So let's just call this Abuja new site. All right, so let's hit our controller and see what happens. Okay, good. Now this is happening because we haven't included a little magic. That magic is what we have here, Csrf. Okay, it uniquely identifies each of the requests sent. Not to worry, let's come back, refresh our site, Abuja booking. Okay, hit and submit, and all right, this is nice. So we're having this fillable. I love errors so much, they help you know what's going on. Allow mass assignment. This is how you solve that problem. So easy. You get into your model, okay, we come in here, you could just do protected guarded. Okay, yeah, okay, protected, guarded, and an empty array. Please make sure to use a square brackets. Okay, you could save this, go back into your page and refresh this, resend the form, and we should, okay, we also have something here, cannot be null. All right, so we have a conflict there with our table name. Let's get into this. Okay, so we are sending the name into the name. All right, let's check our migrations to see if everything is okay. In the booking, string name. Okay, let's get into our database table and check that again. All right, so we have bookings. Okay, we also have the name there. Okay, so where could this be coming from? Column cannot be null. All right, let's go back to our form, refresh this. For one reason or the other, we are not receiving this. So let's just call this Buja. Submit. We still have that error. Okay, so this is how we go about certain issues like this. We get into our controller, and at this point we want to be sure we are getting these requests, alright, because this request is coming from our form, okay, which already has a type. Oh, sorry, this is supposed to be text. Alright, then the name is supposed to be name. Sorry about that. Okay, let's head on here and go back to our form, create, and have something good right now. Okay, good, your booking has been recorded. Head into our database and we should be fine. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial.